Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, people. I have another Tops Now. You've seen me open these before. If you are a Villa fan, you are going to enjoy this video because these are all Villa cards. You should know by now I am a Villa fan. And of course, these were released to celebrate our cup win. I believe, as mentioned in previous videos, the first package of Tops Now is usually just common cards. I will hold off posting this and see if I get any hits, because typically you get hits weeks, if not months later. I have a 50% record of getting hits from Tops Now, which is nice. It would be lovely to get some really low numbered or even a relic or signature card from this set, because they will probably be sought after in many years as our first cup, especially our first European Cup since 1982. So let's do this. Again, I'm just assuming these are all base, buttery biscuit base, but hopefully in a couple of weeks we'll get at least one hit. There are 3 cards in here. There were 4 to choose from. I only chose 3 cards, and I'm denied about which cards to get. I mean, 2 are really obvious. The third I brought just because I think the player has a high ceiling. I was very tempted to get Buendia because he was the match winner at one point and he played a big part in our season, but I didn't. So spoiler alert, no Buendia. I was going to forfeit Morgie Rogers for Buendia, and then I figured, because there's a high possibility chance we sell him in the summer, right? So I was like, do I want a Morgan Rogers card if we're going to sell him? And I thought his ceiling is so high. If he becomes a massive player, then his card, if you get a limited print run, which I assume these are all limited print run, but if you get a numbered or relic or auto, because it's not part of like the Premier League series where everybody's maybe just picked up a scribbled Morgan auto on a card that's been made tenfold, this will be worth a lot more. So I figured, as a collector's piece, I will try my luck with a Morgan card. I of course got John, our Captain Fantastic, with the trophy, Super John McGinn. And had to be done. And of course we have the trophy lift. I actually have a 4th card in here. I did not order 4 cards. Maybe one of these is a hit. Did I order 4 cards? Was there 5 to get and I ordered 4? Now I'm confused. This is going to be an interesting reveal then. I put the Morgan Rogers card at the back of the pack. So yeah, we have 3 base cards as expected. I am hoping that at some point in the near future we will get a lovely package that looks very much like this of hits. They never tell you that hits are coming. You just get a delivery one day and you open it. I know it's completely different in America, but that's how it works over here in the UK. Anyway, come back. It'll be right about now-ish if the video is not too long. So just a quickie, maybe. I don't know if it's going to be a quickie. I'd done the Tops Now Villa cards from the Super Cup. No, it wasn't from the Super Cup. Yeah, it was from the... No, it wasn't. From the Champions of Europe. You'll never sing that. Not quite a Champions League though, was it? Anyway, so the reason I got the Super Cup mixed up is I've just ordered the Brian Maggio Tops Now. So I've ordered some of them, and I said in the video that I have a pretty good hit rate. I get like 50%. I always get like a numbered card with Tops Now. So those Villa cards that you just watched, probably in my room, yeah, none of those hit, which is pretty good, because I was sure with my luck with Tops Now I'd get 1 hit, and you know, even if it was a numbered card up to 150 or something, I don't know how high the numbers went, I was like, I'll get a hit, I'll get a hit. No, I didn't. So yeah, next up then, Brian Maggio, youngest goal scorer in a Super Cup final, potential. I mean, everyone's obsessed with him in a minute, thinking he's like the greatest gift since like Harry Kane for England. And from what I've seen of him in pre-season, I mean, I had to talk a lot of people down on Facebook after one pre-season game. They were like, oh my God, he's the next Lukaku, he's amazing. I was like, fuck me, mate. It's a game pre-season friendly against like Thailand All-Stars or Indonesian All-Stars or some shit, I don't know. And you're talking like he's going to score a goal a game in the Premier League and not go missing for like 10 games like Watkins, you know. So I have high hopes though. After watching him, he squandered a lot of chances in that Super Cup final, and a lot of people were like, well, he's young, he's raw. And it's like, I've seen Ollie Watkins play. Ollie Watkins squanders a lot of chances as well. So there's nothing new there. The difference is I kind of had more confidence for Brian to be in the right place at the right time. So I'm quite excited by him. So for a change, I normally only order like, I'm going to knock this down a bit. There we go. I normally only order like one of each card that I want, maybe two at a push. So I went with 5 this time because there was a discount on 5. I was like, fuck it. If he ends up being like the next big forward in England, that's one hell of an investment. If this is like his first major card, especially if you can get a short run, a short print, and get one hit from it. I mean, it'd be lovely to get more than one hit, but hopefully I'll get one hit this time. I'll show you those cards when they come, by the way. But yeah, I have nothing to show you in terms of the hits from the European final. Like I say, you would have just seen that video. So let's talk about Villa, right? So Villa this season are, depending on who you ask, it's either really exciting or doom and gloom, doom and gloom, doom and gloom. We sold the core of our team. I think it's really exciting. I really like the fact we bought a Japanese keeper. I think having a Japanese player for the Asian market is massive. When I went to Japan myself, I shot with a couple of models over there. This is my photography studio, by the way. Splash point photo right there. I'm wearing a Japan top. It's a fake one, but they're kind of art, creative license to make fake shirts that have unique kind of Japanese. I think this has got a Saka Tower on it. Yeah, so there's a Saka Tower. I went there. So when I went to Japan, I shot with a couple of models and I gave one of the girls, because originally it was only going to be one model and I got another one in while I was over there. But I gave one of the girls a Villa top. She's like kind of gothy into rock music, kind of like myself, but she only ever seemingly wears black. So I don't think she'll ever wear it or appreciate it. But I was like, man, just have a bit of Villa culture in your life. Here's a Villa top. So I brought her one. So yeah, it's kind of cool that like 3 years later, we now have a Japanese keeper and we've got Japan fans coming in just because we've got a keeper. And I think that's ace. I love seeing Asian players doing well. I love seeing like how lauded Son was every time he went back to Korea. And I've always kind of thought Mitoma was a great player. And I think for an Asian player to make it in the Premier League is a big, big thing, because soccer's reasonably big in Japan. Baseball, soccer, golf, obviously sumo. Went to the sumo when I was there. So yeah, so excited by that. Martinez going, broken finger. Is he going to go? Is he not going to go? I'm recording this on Saturday, so we play our first game tomorrow. I do not know. I'm quietly confident that Zion's going to be a pretty consistent keeper. I mean, we need to not get on his back when he inevitably makes a mistake. Martinez makes mistakes, and he's like one of the best keepers we've ever had. Before that, my favourite keeper was Bosnich. So, you know, that's kind of it. I would love Suzuki to be kind of the next keeper that I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm glad he's a villain. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Let's talk about the outgoings. Morgan, we know Morgs is a very good player with a very high ceiling. That's what made him exciting. And the fact he's British with a high ceiling. People lost their shit, kind of like they might do with Big Bry Maggio. If you watch games week in, week out, like I did, you would realise that he lost the ball a lot. There were games where he went missing, and while his stats on paper look great, let's be honest, he wasn't always on it. You can't expect a footballer to be on it week in, week out, be on top of his game. It just doesn't happen. But the concept that we've somehow lost this impossibly irreplaceable, incredible player when I watched several games of him being shit is just a myth. You know, it's a ridiculous concept. So yeah, the fact we lost Morgan didn't actually bother me that much because he went for such a good price. I would love to see him stay at the Villa and him become the next, like, fucking, dare I say it, Bellingham. Because again, he went to the World Cup. People were like, oh, his numbers are so good. He's going to give Bellingham a run for his money. There's no way Bellingham starts ahead of him. And then Bellingham just absolutely lit up the World Cup and proved he was a class above Rodgers. For all you blue noses there, you can clip that if you like. Bellingham was indeed a class above Rodgers, but such is life. We don't care now. He's at Chelsea. Who gives a shit? So yeah, I just think replaceable. Yeah, whatever. We could replace a few moments and excitement around a high ceiling with consistency. Let's just consistency. So the biggest loss in terms of consistency is arguably Tielemans, because Tielemans is fantastic. He had a clause, so we had no choice but to sell him on if he wanted to go, and he obviously did. Digne, I really like Digne. So seeing Digne go, whatever, he's getting on a bit though. Like Tielemans is getting on a bit. Watkins is supposedly going to, is it? I don't know. Al Hilal, is it? I feel like I'm being racist, so just picking an Arabic word out of the sky that sounds familiar to the football team. And yeah, and again, Watkins. I love the work rate of Watkins, but I question him all the time as well. So the fact of the matter is, whether you question him or not, he's often in the top 5 goal scorers in the Premier League, and he gets double figures, closing in on 15, 16, 17 every season, and replacing that is going to be a bitch, but I quite like the looks of Nicholas Jackson, so I've got no issues with that. I don't mind Nicholas Jackson. I've always kind of liked Nicholas Jackson from what I've seen of him in the past, so if we get him in, I'll be happy. At this point, like I say, I'm recording. We've been heavily linked to him now for about a month and we haven't got him in, so I think that's going to happen. Obviously, if Watkins goes, I think Maggio is going to have a big part to play this season. If he, I mean, we fought to get him in the team because he wasn't legally allowed to play, was he, until January, because he's still 17 and because he lived in Luxembourg, even though he was born in Britain, born in UK. He was maybe classed as a foreign player, and you can't have foreign youngsters under 18 in the first team, I think, on a professional contract. But we brought him in and fought for him. Go, hey, he was born in the UK, he's England, he's English. And yeah, so he's going to be able to play for us now. And he's, like I say, he's like a pre-season and making everyone excited, hence the top scans. So yeah, that's exciting to have another striker, because I would love to see Tammy come good, but I don't know. I reckon Tammy's been injured since day dot and he struggled. And when we were in shit run of form, he was the one scoring and looked the most exciting, and people have got on his back because he's not really done much since, but he's not really had a chance. He's done 5-minute cameos here, there and everywhere, whilst carrying a shoulder injury, whilst after he scored a goal, put his shoulder out completely and needed surgery because of it. So yeah, he's obviously not been fit from the day dot. I would love to see him do a little something, but I fear if we get Nicholas Jackson and then Brian Maggio sticks around, which I'm assuming he will, he's definitely not going to go out on loan if we fought for him that hard. Yeah, I just don't see a place for Tammy, do you? I think Brian comes in before Tammy if we bring in a second striker, just because I think Emery likes him. Emery really likes him because he's put a lot of trust in him. Like the Super Cup and everything, he's just been there. Could have brought Ollie back into the fold. Okay, not really having had any pre-season training, but he could have brought him back into the fold for a few games and didn't. So was it just the one game? I don't know. Either way, I think he's got a lot of love for Brian, and to be fair, I think from what everyone's seen of him, we're all excited. So who have we covered? We've covered Ollie going, we've covered Tielemans. Oh yeah, we replaced, is it Ruggieri, the Italian left back? But Matsson's looked really good in pre-season again. Don't take pre-season too seriously. I've seen some, I think I saw, who was it? I don't know, I can't remember, but I've seen a few players have a very good pre-season at Villa, and then we put them in the league and they just didn't perform. So just don't take that too seriously. We've got Hemmings, speaking of which, who's really seemed to come into his own pre-season. I'd love to see him get a run out if he needs. He's on the left, so I think he'll be in direct competition with Garnacho. Garnacho, Emery knows him, he knows Emery. He's had a turbulent personal life, judging by what his ex-missus apparently posted about him and a kid. So I don't know what's going on there. He deleted all his social media, so he definitely has issues. But I think if anyone can get someone going, it's Emery, who gave him a chance in the first instance when they first worked together, right? Got him on the map for him being considered one of the best players in terms of potential. And he's still really young, so you know, Emery gets him firing, we'll laugh him. We've just got Wan-Bissaka. I like Wan-Bissaka. A lot of people have moaned about him, but I quite like Wan-Bissaka. Still a fan of Kashi. I like Kashi. Puts in a shift, goes forward. Sometimes doesn't always get back. He gets a lot of flack, but big fan of Kashi. Ezri's just gone. Ezri got announced yesterday. That's going to be a hard one to replace. We need a solid centre back to replace him. Didn't we just bring in a kid? Someone quite young. I don't even know if he'll get loaned out, even if he'll make it into the team. I can't even remember his name. Can't remember if we bought him in this window. It was like a window 6 months, like in the January window prior or the year before, and we just loaned him out. But I'm pretty sure we brought in some kid, but we need someone solid at the back. We're practically just about to sign the Bayern Munich. I can't even pronounce his name. He's like 31, so I think he's a free agent. We're bringing him in for experience, I imagine, just to shore up the midfield as like going to Mazambi, I can't pronounce his name. Mazambi. He's injured. They're all injured. Gomez looked great in pre-season. So everyone's like, doom and gloom, we're selling the core of our team. And it's like, but I really like everything we've brought in. And other than the Bayern Munich guy, they're all like early 20s. So yeah, I've turned this into a Villa chat, by the way. It's going to be a long blog. I thought I may as well make a thing out of this card opening because I didn't get any hits. So let's talk about Villa. Let's turn this into a bit of a Villa blog as well, not just about cards. And yeah, I am excited about the Villa team. I think we can... The key to Villa this season is one very, very simple one. It's not whether we have the talent, it's whether that talent can gel quick enough that we're not in such a big points gap between the top end and the table, between us fighting for Champions League football again, that we're not chasing for too much of the season. I think we need to, by the time that first international break is over, our team need to be gelled. We need to be playing. If we play anywhere near how we played with a second string bunch of players with just a few first teamers, as we did against PSG, we'd be fucking laughing. I know we had a longer pre-season they did, and they didn't have a pre-season to gel, but we say pre-season like we've had a longer pre-season, 3 games, and we put out a B team, mostly kids. Half of our team was still away for internationals, and they had, I think it was, at one point they had all 11 players from their Champions League winning team on the field, from the Champions League winning final on the field, and I would say we were the better team. So yeah, I am excited about Villa this season. It's going to be one hell of a change. It's going to be fun, but mate, if anyone can do it, Emery can. You notice I spent this whole time talking about players and not kissing Emery's ass, but that is a man who demands a lot. We need to stay injury free. Talking of Emery, that's the one thing that we're going to have problems with, isn't it? I think, as Tielemans said when he went to Man United, training here is really easy. By the way, Man United just lost 2-0 to Hull. So yeah, Tielemans says training here is really easy compared to what we did at Villa. It's like really perfectionist, like real detail orientated. Maybe our training sessions are a bit too intense and our players go through the walls a bit, but if we can keep most of them fit, let's face it, when Tielemans and Kamara got injured last season, that kind of fucked us big time. So that was the core of our centre of our team. 2 Rolls-Royce players who are consistent as hell. So we just need that. We just need a bit of consistency fit in every area of the pitch. People are going to get injured. That is fine. If we end up with Jackson and Maggio comes in and he bangs in some goals, that's fine. I reckon he could do double figures this season if he gets on the field, because I'm going to jump on the hype. But yeah, so Villa this season, really excited. Looking forward to it. Yeah, thanks for sticking around if you just want to see cards. Peace.